Today, I want to bring you some pretty exciting news about a study from the University of Washington, which was published in the journal ACS Biomaterials Science and Engineering. Researchers at the University of Washington have managed to design a natural biogenic peptide paste that can be used to rebuild healthy tooth enamel and fix cavities. The general process works like this. The peptide is deposited onto the cavity, or the carious lesion. Once sufficiently coated in the peptide, a new layer of calcium ions and phosphate gets deposited on top of that. The peptide is able to remineralize the calcium and the phosphate into a structurally organized, healthy, functional enamel. It's an incredible breakthrough for something that's so common, a tooth cavity, and yet hasn't really had any kind of major cure. These peptides are derived from the protein amelogenin, which is a protein that's naturally produced in the teeth, where it's involved in growing the hard crown enamel on the top of each tooth. By combining these derivative peptides into an edible substance with calcium and phosphates, they can potentially produce medical consumables like toothpastes, mouthwashes, and spot treatments. The research indicates that each direct application of the treatment can regenerate a layer of tooth enamel about 10 to 50 micrometers thick. Now that's a pretty small layer, but it's not trivial. That can add up. This is within the realm of medical practicality, and through further research, its effectiveness can only be improved. Professor Mehmet Sarkaya was the lead author of the paper. About the process, he said, and I quote, "Remineralization guided by peptides is a healthy alternative to current dental care," unquote. And he also said, quote, "Peptide-enabled formulations will be simple and would be implemented in over-the-counter or clinical products," unquote. It's important to get a product like this out there to the public, because oral hygiene is serious business. Although tooth decay may not really be a big problem at first, if it's left untreated or ignored, it can progress and eat away the tooth enamel until the nerves and the blood vessels underneath are exposed. And this is where the health problems get really serious, as this level of bad oral hygiene can lead to serious health complications, including secondary infections and fatal heart attacks. When we eat a meal, typically a meal rich in sugars, like something with a lot of bread, those sugars can stick to our teeth, and they feed bacteria. The bacteria release acids as a metabolic byproduct, and these acids break down and degrade the tooth enamel. Maintaining proper oral hygiene is the best way to avoid tooth decay. It's a preventative process. But for many people, that's easier said than done. While some people have poor oral hygiene due simply to their own laziness, I'm looking at you, people who have a toothbrush that you haven't touched in 3 weeks. Many other people live in impoverished conditions, where they either aren't educated about oral hygiene, they don't know what to do in the first place, or they don't have access to a diet that isn't rich in processed sugars. When you talk about people who have a low income, you find that they often have a poor diet, and this is because of their income, they have to buy these cheaper foods, and cheaper foods tend to be processed, full of a lot of these processed sugars, and it's very hard on their teeth, and so they're just in general exposed to a more degrading environment for their enamel. Or they just might not have the money to access the necessary resources. Like maybe they know what to do and they have a decent diet, but they still get a little bit of the signs of tooth decay. You still need to take care of your teeth, but they just can't afford proper dental care. Maybe they can get a toothbrush and toothpaste and they use it as much as they can, but they can't ever get like a dental checkup. They can't get a professional to look at their teeth and make sure everything's going okay, or to identify something that might be more serious. But I'm kind of wandering off into the weeds here. Coming back to cavities, this is also a problem in children who don't have control over their diet, and their parents give them a lot of sugar and soda, and that leads directly to tooth decay. Chances are you might have seen an unfortunate case where a child has grown up with so much soda in their diet, their parents just give them so much soda, that their teeth are small and semi-dissolved. Soda has replaced water for them, and it's done huge damage to their teeth. Kids are at risk of cavities because of parental influence like this as well. So for all of these people, for all of these reasons, this new treatment, this new peptide-based dental product, could be a cheap and an effective treatment for these cavities that cause pain and vulnerability to disease.